Next, we will hear from Phillip Clapham from C-Star Scientific. Could you please cue the video?
Roger Payne told some of the more excruciating jokes known to humankind. Example: what's the definition of El Paso? Answer: it's a Mexican quarterback's only option other than El Punto and El Runo. Roger and I always shared jokes whenever we met, and I'd been saving one for him since the last time I saw him some years ago in New Zealand. I never got to tell him that joke, but I did include it in a farewell letter that I wrote to him shortly before he died, which his son John was kind enough to read to him. I'll spare you the joke, but I hope that he got a good laugh out of it. My name is Phil Clapham, and I'm a whale biologist. I first met Roger in the early 1980s. He was a superstar. I was young and stupid. Despite this considerable disparity in our status, Roger did with me what he did with everyone. He listened, he encouraged, and he befriended. I always said that if you were ever dubious about the value of the work that you were doing, all you had to do was talk to Roger for 10 minutes and he would convince you that what you were doing was the greatest thing in the world, even if it wasn't. That was truly a gift. He was a great influence on me in the early days of my career as a whale biologist. Now, these days, I am old and, quote, senior, and I look at the latest generation of young hopefuls coming into this field, and I can't help feeling sad that none of them will ever get to meet this extraordinary man. Years ago, Roger and I were chatting with each other at a conference when we were approached by a rather starstruck young woman who asked what he thought about an idea that she'd had about something or other. It was a naive idea, not grounded in reality. Nonetheless, Roger listened patiently to her, and at the end, he slowly deconstructed the idea, but he did so in such a way that the woman went away feeling good about the fact that she'd thought about it. At another conference, there was a portion of the program devoted to students, and one of them inevitably asked how you got into the field of whale research. There was a panel, and my old friend Steve Katona stood up and gave a rather sobering assessment about how it was very competitive, there was no money, etc., etc. When he was done, Roger stood up in the audience and he said, "Well, Steve has just given you his very practical view, and I'm now going to give you my impractical one." And he said, if you decide, for example, that what you want to do more than anything else in the world is go to a South Sea island and walk the beaches looking for seashells, that's what you should do, and you shouldn't worry about the practicalities of it. In other words, follow your heart. That was Roger in a nutshell. As an aside, much has been made of Roger's driving habits, which were at times, well, viscerally terrifying. I remember one day when he and I were driving up Interstate 95 together in Connecticut. Roger gleefully weaved in and out of traffic all the time, giving a running commentary that had him viewing the experience rather like a World War II aerial dogfight. In a truly execrable Japanese accent, Roger would yell things like, "American flyboy make big mistake," as he moved to stop someone from cutting him off. Humor was never far from Roger's lips. He was, I think, the most brilliant man I ever knew, and the most charming. There are not many people who could say that the world would be a different place had they not existed, but Roger was definitely one of those. As I said in my farewell letter to him, it's very hard to imagine a world without Roger Payne in it, but here we are. So in conclusion, I'll just quote the words of the writer Eduardo Galeano, who once said about a dear friend that he'd lost, "A part of me died with him, a part of him lives in me." Farewell, Roger.